In the top right side, we're going to kick things off with the great Iona Sotala himself representing ENS Esports. This is, of course, Serral.
And spawning over in the bottom left, hailing from France, it is DnS.
Perhaps an even more extreme PvZ than the previous one, where the Zerg is the pretty big favorite, but maybe Mana inspired DnS. Maybe DnS was watching those games, waiting for his own lobby to go up and wanting to see what's happening there. It's like, damn, Mana is making Lambo work for it over here. It's like, all right, I feel inspired. Let's also show what I'm made of. And this group, as you said earlier, a bit comical with Serral at the top, bunch of Protoss players in the middle, and then Bly at the bottom. Two Zergs, but two very, very different Zergs. Like, yeah, they both make drones, but that's about the only thing that they have in common.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, do either of these players think about what they have to reveal for the rest of the group? And it's kind of like, well, I mean, Serral might worry because there is a player like Showtime in it, and Showtime's been giving Serral a bit of a rough time recently. Like, he also was one of the guys that almost knocked out Serral at Home Story Cup, if I do remember right. But yeah, I think Serral looks at this group and he's like, well, I'm pretty much a god in CVP. It's one of my best matchups, if not my best. 6 Protosses and then Bly. I mean, yeah, he's probably going to be feeling quite comfortable, but he should feel quite comfortable in any group given the seeding system. But so far, very orthodox style from both these players, but you expect nothing less because DnS, as much as this is kind of a Goliath or David versus Goliath kind of story, he is a solid Protoss in his own right.
I'm just smiling because DnS is tryharding here, man. That probe has been in the main base for like a minute. Starts mining, stops mining, starts mining, stops mining. It's a very little thing. And I've tried to do this myself a couple of times, and then I realized if you get the most important second pylon or my Nexus is 100 minerals late. So at one point I was like, I give up. Like, this is for the pro gamers. Serral's probably looking at this like, oh man, you're taking this very serious. It's just the first game of the group stage, mate. But what we can talk about, Ben, other than the probe doing his absolute hardest to just delay a little bit of mining from Serral, is that DnS is kicking things off with a Robo. Definitely not the standard option. Could be a Sound special, right? Maybe Speed Prism, Disruptus, or maybe he's just going to use it early on to drop 2 depths in the main base and kill a couple of drones. But I'm curious to see where this is going to go, because 9 out of 10 times in this matchup at the moment, it is Stargate first.
Yeah, it certainly is. But also, you're going up against one of the best, if not the best, CVP player in the world. And it's like, well, if I do the safe and standard and what everybody does, then he's probably going to be better about it as well, right? But yeah, this Robo, like, it's the kind of opening you kind of need to slow down your opponent, and you are bang on. It will be a Robo bait pretty damn quickly for him as well. And Serral is a smart cookie. He's going to start sniffing that, hey, there hasn't really been anything fly out your base, at least not an Oracle or a Phoenix. What are you up to?
Yeah, I wonder if DnS ever even wants to go up to 3 bases here. Or do you think this is going to be like Speed Prism, 2 Disruptors, and then 8 gateways, and let's hope we get lucky, land that one juicy Nova in the middle of a couple of roaches, and then we just warp in basic gateway units, and hopefully we can bring it home. I think that's probably going to be the case. Yeah,
if there is any build, like, or way that historically that Serral has been caught off guard, it is by being caught off guard. Like, it is these 2 base sharp timings, these weirdo builds, like Zess with his random charge lot attacks, you know, where he gets a few warpins on his side of the map and then runs over to the other. And yeah, I kind of recall Trap maybe doing this kind of stuff against Serral as well to great effect. But I can't imagine DnS is like, you know what, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to slow down the game again. I think it is going to be very, very ultra aggro.
I think the first time that Zone ever did this against Serral, it worked. And then the second time it was close and it didn't work. And the third time it looked very sad. And safe to say it didn't get anywhere close to working. And that really, well, okay. So it's 1 Disruptor into Colossus. So I guess that we're gearing up for, yeah, just indeed that big 2 base attack. I don't believe he wants to go up to 3 bases, but he's making a lot of probes. The adepts do get caught. Actually, going up to 3 bases here is going to be a little bit annoying already. The War Prism is just going for the other side of the map. First Nova, in a perfect world for DnS, he kills 5 drones. Now against Serral, getting 5 drones with your first Nova seems like a bit of a pipe dream. And let's see what we can get done. Fires the Nova and has to settle for 2. Oh, no, DnS. Okay. That was ugly though, because now we took a lot of damage on our Prism already. And if we want to be aggressive afterwards, that Prism needs to be as healthy as possible.
That little scream there, that was like, tell me you're a Protoss player without telling me you're a Protoss player. you were so sad for that Warp Prism. But yeah, I mean, this already...
Yeah, well, that's game over if he loses the Disruptor or the Prism, though. So I was more sad for our entertainment.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is already a nice little cancel there for Serral, because even though DNS will get it booted on up, Serral gets the big scout on that Colossus being out in the field, and seeing the Colossus so damn early, he's already starting to get roaches online, and he's got his third base up and running. The drone count also, he's managed to eke out a lot of drones while also slowing down his opponent, and yeah, that's not the easiest thing to do. This third base, by the way, is it almost like a fake at this point, do you reckon, with that many gateways going down?
I think the yellow would say it's transitional, you know? So it's like, it's there, we can still use it. Serral is making a bunch of roaches now. He's probably expecting the push to come anytime soon, but DNS has a bunch of gateways. He's got Colossus. Now he goes back into Disruptors. It's kind of hard to pinpoint where he really wants to go. He needs to be so careful with this Prism, but at this point, you cannot be happy with this game, because with just, what was it, 10, 12 Zerglings, I think Serral caused a delay of the Nexus going down for over a minute, and this Warp Prism has been able to unload the Disruptor one time. And we sent one Nova in, we killed 2 drones. This is not good enough.
This is a super quote-unquote transitional Nexus here. I mean, there's no Twilight Council on the way, or done. There's no Forge on the way either. DNS has put all his eggs in this basket, and I think that is a good way to go about it, to try and get the win, but Serral, this is not his first rodeo whatsoever. I mean, the Roach speed is finishing up here, and
Hive.
He's getting Hive, what the hell? He's so confident.
Yeah. I know. That might actually be a little bit too much of the good stuff. If one of these Novas... Oh, force fields go down. Nova will go forward. Somehow missed. But we did still manage to get a couple of the Ravagers. And that obviously means that the next set of force fields could become a little bit problematic. Serral now supply blocked as well for a split second as he lost an Overlord. Few more force fields go down. Did Serral get too carried away with his Hydra then and his Hive? It really comes down to these Disruptors. Colossus are not fantastic against Roaches, but if the Roaches are kept at bay by force fields, then they are not bad. Serral is going to send it forward. Nice pickup there on the Colossus, just to make sure that we are playing this very safe. This is actually getting a little bit dicey. That Nova came from way downtown, so it won't connect. That Hive is almost done, by the way, Ben.
It's ridiculous. And Serral, his supply keeps on climbing. These Biles actually getting some nice juicy hits there. The Queens, they are pretty much the anti-Colossus at this point, but there is a lot of Zerg, and that Protoss is getting on top of it with all that Zerg. And yeah, I mean, Serral looked scary for a moment, but he knows how to hold pushes, Kev.
With a Hive.
With a Hive.
With a Hive. I mean, that's just unnecessary roughness, Serral.
His face.
I don't know if he was incredibly impressed by all of it, but we definitely were, Serral. Well done. Like, it can actually get tricky then, especially when the first force fields went down. You're like, man, if DNS can get 5 or 6 roaches here, we really have a very exciting minute ahead of us. In the end, it was 3 units. And I think at that point, like, you want to get forward, but obviously DNS knows if we lose the Prism, we lose the Colossus, or we lose the Disruptor, then the push is kind of dead. So you want to play it as safe and steady as possible, but every second that goes by, there are so many extra roaches popping, because you know Serral's not going to miss a beat on spending his money, even if he is looking at a big, powerful Protoss army. And I think in the end, just too much time went by. Stalker's Colossus can be all right against a couple roaches, but when they show up in those numbers and supported by all the Queens, a couple transfusions going down, it just suddenly feels that the Roaches are immortals and they're just not falling.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. It was it was a very scary spot. Like, for a moment there, I was like, oh my God, Serral's supply is 130 and it's just staying there, you know? And it was like, he got supply blocked as well. I started worrying really hard for him because I'm like, I've been hyping up Serral for quite a bit here, and he's just going to fall over, isn't he? But yeah, he came online, he got unsupply blocked, a big swell of units came out. He was on like 4 or 5 bases behind it as well with the Hive finishing. Just very well handled, honestly.
And something that may seem very silly to mention were those Spore Crawlers, but the Spore Crawlers actually soaked up a lot of shots. Colossus are not good in taking out buildings like that, but you can't really ignore the Spore, because then the Colossus is going to get in range, and Spore Crawlers, of course, can attack a Colossus. They could also attack the Prism units that you just don't want to see take any damage. So moving the Spores forward was a very cute little play by this man, who has taken the 1-0 lead on Inside and Out. Now we hopped into Cosmic Sapphire. He is still representing ENS Esports. This is Serral.
I like the attempt from this man spawning over in the bottom right as our blue Protoss, but it just wasn't quite enough. It is DnS.
Oh my god, what is he doing? Is this a flower? 2-gate forge. DnS. Has he been watching that Coco stream? That's what I want to know right now.
You know, if it does come, it is going to be. Do you think it's going to be 2 gates and a forge or so?
Yeah, I think 2-gate forge. Oh no, the flower.
Oh, the flower. It's the flower.
No, it's not. Okay.
It was so close to being the flower, man. Like so close.
Oh, this is ridiculous. Well, this is also a very fun build. Safe to say that transitioning out of this is very hard. The idea here is, guys, to rally a couple of zealots and then obviously let cannons go up, and you protect your cannons with your zealots. At this point, Serral doesn't know that this is happening yet. This does make me excited though, right? Because, you know, first game, it wasn't a true macro game, but DnS probably just felt kind of powerless going up against Serral. He's such a monster. So you may as well throw in that curveball and try to make things very hectic and very weird. There is our first cannon. Serral's going to see that pylon, excuse me. He's going to see that pylon. I think at this point, he already knows that he's going to have to take this pretty serious. Drones are going to make their way to the low ground, but drones will be met with zealots.
They certainly will. And I mean, for DnS, if you're in his shoes, he's got the hardest opponent that he can get in the group stage straight away. And it's like, you know what? I've got a cheeky build. Let's see how you deal with it. And it might be a good test for it, you know. That's already a lot of cannons going up.
Yep, 3 cannons. Serral immediately drops the Roach Warren and will probably just think, I cannot save this hatchery. And I'm just going to take it slow, steady, make a couple of ravages, take out the cannons. We'll take it from there. If I was DnS, I would already start taking my gases now. Because I feel like at this point, you know, your opponent is not stubborn about defending this hatchery. It doesn't seem like that's going to happen. You don't see spines go up on the low ground. So I'd say start taking your gases and make sure that you have a Stargate to fall back on.
Yeah, I'm almost a little bit surprised as well that he let all 4 of the cannons finish. Because I feel that maybe 2 or 3 did the job, but I guess he was kind of worried about how many lings were coming out. But now he gets confirmation that there's 2 gases rolling on arm. It's not a ton of lings, and it's only a couple of lings out in your base as well, which isn't that big a deal. But yeah, I'm with you, Kev. I think getting out the gas rolling and stuff would have been really nice for him.
Tried to build the 7-9 score there, but it got blocked by these 2 annoying little Zerglings. Serral knows that he can't get too much done here, but just forcing your opponent to pull the drones away a few times, lose a little bit of mining time, is nice. DnS knows that there is obviously no way for him to ever kill these Ravagers. There is a small chance that he's going to try to start producing Stalkers, right? Since I
think that's the only thing that you can kind of go for to keep him alive at this point. And I mean, there isn't link speed done or on the way at all. Like, these Ravagers are very gas heavy, so it's... Yeah, and I mean, that pylon is fairly exposed as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Serral can actually shoot that pylon without the cannons being able to do anything, which would, you know, make this process of getting out of here even faster.
Yeah, because all 3 cannons are at the bottom side of this pylon, so that means that once the pylon falls, all cannons are unpowered. We're going to go for Adepts at first, and maybe DnS is going to try to keep Serral at home with the Adepts, but this is already looking dicey, man. That pylon might actually go down. Well, it will live at least to make the Adepts pop. We need a Stargate immediately, and that's exactly what he does. And now with these 2 Adepts, DnS hopes to get a couple of drone kills. But Serral has units everywhere where he needs to have them. I started off very excited, man. This is 5 Ravagers. Actually, this game is over, man. These 5 Ravagers are going to run into the main base. They're going to drop some corrosive vials, and even if you make an Orc or you make a Void Ray, it takes a while to clean up 5 Ravagers. By the time that I think all 5 Ravagers are dead, I think DnS is down to 7 workers, and this is not looking too hot anymore. It was exciting for a bit, but I'm afraid it's over.
Yeah, I mean, even if you made a wall of what at the top there, and yeah, that's 1 pylon that isn't going to be standing together long. Does see the Stargate, which is powered by possibly 2 pylons there. He's doing a good job of buying time with this. Those bios, though, getting good damage done.
Yep, getting the battery and a couple of probes. Adepts just don't stand a chance against 5 Ravagers, so now it's all about trying to get the Void Ray out, but by the time the Void Ray kills all